showing up for people matters. I have a dad. He's 62 years old. 3 weeks ago, he called me, happy as he's ever been, telling me he's throwing himself a birthday party, his big 62 birthday party. You only turn 62 once. There's a bunch of people gonna be there, even your mom. And I said, even my mom? Y'all haven't spoken since the divorce. What did she say? He said, I called her and she told me she'd let me know. He was excited. And the thing about my dad, he was barely there growing up. He was barely there. Like, he didn't make any recitals, any plays, any, games, any events, none of that. And if he did come, he might was on his phone the whole time. But he was busy. He was busy a lot growing up. That's why my parents divorced, of course. And I don't know, he turned 60, something just changed. He just started calling me every Sunday, wondering how I was doing, really wanting to connect. So he told me about his birthday party and how it was gonna be big and a bunch of people there, right? So 3 weeks went by and the day his party came. The day his party came, I showed up. Happy birthday, Dad. I could smell the aroma in the air. He had cooked roast, mashed potatoes, collard greens, macaroni. He had it done up. He even had a chocolate cake in the middle of the table with you could tell that he had wrote on it because it was shaky. But 62nd birthday, happy 62nd birthday. It was nice. He made it to feed a small little army. And I got there, probably was 7. And he said, well, let's sit down. Everybody should be there shortly, right? 7 turned into 7:30. He said, okay. Maybe people are going through a little traffic, right? 7:30 turned into 8 o'clock. The chicken started, the roast started getting cold. He covered the roast up. And he, kept checking his phone. He was like, maybe I sent the wrong date. So he looked. He said, well, the right date. Yeah, it's the right date on it. My uncle texted back at 8:15 and said, sorry, I can't make it. Some people from his work said they won't be able to make it. My mom just left the message on read, so I guess she never said, I'll let you know. She just read it. And basically, it was just me and him there. It was me and him. And a table full of food and a cake. And he said, well, might as well not let it go to waste. So we started eating, and it was very silent. It was very silent. And we were sitting there eating, and he said, I understand. And I said, you understand what? He said, well, there was a lot of times that I wasn't there and that I didn't show up or where I was on the phone. Even, I don't know if you remember your 8th birthday. Your mom, she kept calling me and calling me and calling me. I was in charge of getting the magician. And she covered and told everybody that the magician was sick. She told a bunch of 8-year-olds that the magician couldn't be there. And she started to do card tricks to entertain you guys. And she didn't even know any card tricks. She didn't know any magic. And he said, I now understand. I understand what that feels like to not be there, to be this disappointed. And I sat there and I listened to him. And he said, I even got party hats, thinking it'd be silly for a bunch of adults to be in party hats, having a good time. So I went and I got the party hats. We put them on, and we were 2 grown men sitting there with party hats. And he cut the cake, and he said YouTube told him cream cheese would hold up real good, but they lied. And he cut us 2 large pieces of cake because it was just us. And we sat there and we ate cake in silence. And I could see the wetness in his eyes. And he apologized to me. He said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not showing up. And I accepted his apology. I let him know, it's okay. You're different now. You're different now going forward. You've changed. And he asked me, why did you come? And I said, honestly, I wasn't going to. I wasn't going to come at all. I already had my excuse ready. But the reason I came is because I did not want to be like you. And those words stung more than it should have. And I probably could have said it in a better way. But it was true. I didn't want to be like him. And I let him know, the old you, though, you've changed. You've changed. This realization right here, you're doing better, but this realization is essentially right. The 62nd birthday, it's the icing on the cake. And it took my father 62 years to learn that lesson, to have no one show up for him, to be so excited, do all this planning and no one be there. And he told me, thank you for coming. Next year, how about we just go ahead and eat, just you and me, and we don't wait for everybody else? And I said, sounds good, Dad. He sent me home with a bunch of roast, a bunch of food, because, nobody showed up, more than I can eat. And on the way home, I was thinking to myself that, right, it took him all this time to realize that, because no one showed up for him but me. And hopefully me showing up was enough for him.